The Gemara mentioned that our Mishnah was dealing with a case where she wrote to one of the two wives, wrote Din Dvarim mainly imach. So the Gemara asked, "V'chikosva lei mai have." What does it help that she wrote a Din Dvarim mainly imach? I'm glad to get the Gemara right after the Mishnah. Writing this phrase, Din Dvarim, doesn't have any halachic effect. So says the Gemara, what about our Mishnah? So it wasn't only that she said Din Dvarim in the imach, but she made a kinyan. Now it's now going to up the ante and make it that the Din Dvarim is going to take effect. In fact, the Gemara, how does that help? She'll say the only reason I was willing to agree to the Din Dvarim in the imach was because I was making my husband happy, but I didn't really mean it. That if a man comes and buys a piece of property from a man and then goes and buys it from the wife, then we say, why does he have to buy from both? Because really it was her property that he was using. So he had a kinyan payers from the property, so he bought the payers from the husband and then went and bought the keren, the acre field from the wife. And we say the whole Megach is bought the wife, because the woman, only reason she sold the field was nachas from Chasis L'Baili. So it was Stam Mishnah saying that a woman is able to say Nachas Ruach Chasis L'Baili. So this concept of Nachas Ruach Chasis L'Baili, if a woman has a valid claim, they said the only reason I did this was to make my husband happy. I didn't want to start Shalom Bayis problems. Is Machlekes Ramei Rabbi Yehuda. Titania, because of vision Chas Malai, L'Sheini v'Chas Malai. If a man writes a star mechira about a certain field, right? Star mecher on one field, the first wife loy chasma loy. She did not agree to participate in such a sale. So what did he do? He wrote a star to the second wife about the second wife, and she agreed. I'm sorry. He wrote a star about a second field, and then she agreed. So Ibda Kesubos, she has no longer any claim against this field because she removed her rights from this field. She can go collect her Kesuba from the Bnei Chayrin, but if the husband, when times come collect the Kesuba, doesn't have any Bnei Chayrin, she cannot go to that field because she agreed to sell that field. Rabbi Yehuda, the only reason I agreed to sell a second field is because I wanted to make my husband happy. I already didn't allow him to sell the first field. If I wasn't going to allow him to sell the second field, then he's going to get really upset. So just to make him happy, I removed my rights from the second field. So why are you arguing with me? In other words, she didn't really want to remove her rights. Rabbi frek the Gemara. Sasam lahacha keremeir v'sasam lahasam kerebi Yehuda. So now we have a stira. Why? Our Mishnah is saying that a woman does not have a claim of nachas ruach chasis l'bayli. The woman cannot nullify the deal by saying I wasn't really serious about it. When she says din dvar mainly b'nechaseich or only asodezu, she's taking effect. It's not true. Masha ein kain, which is not the case by the Stam Mishnah in Gittin. She does have a claim to say nachas ruach chasis l'bayli. So why is it that Rabbi made one Mishnah Stam like Rameir, one like Stam like Rabbi Yehuda? So Rabbi Papa begrusha v'divrei hakol. Really, Rabbi Yehuda is correct. We paskin that a wife has a claim nachas ruach chasis l'bayli. The reason our Mishnah does not allow the woman to make such a claim because she's a grusha. Shinzi's already a grusha. She has no husband. She can't say nachas ruach chasis l'bayli, make my husband happy. She's not married any longer. Rav Ashi Amar, no. Kula Rameh, really, there's no such thing as a claim of Nachas Ruach Hasisa L'Bayli. It doesn't exist. What about the Mishnah in Gittin? V'ad kan l'gomer Rameir Hasam El B'shnei L'Kuchais Di'amarlei I'isa D'Nachas Ruach Avarat L'Kama Yibai L'Meiva. The only time Rameir says that she doesn't have a claim of Nachas Ruach Hasisa L'Bayli, that's when there are two fields that are being sold to two buyers. The first field, the wife disagreed, did not allow it to go through. This second field, the wife did allow it to go through. So it's there, if she really was doing it just in order to make her husband happy, she should have agreed, she should have signed off on sale number one. From the fact that she had enough gall to get up and say, I'm not willing to allow sale number one to go through, that indicates that when she signed off on sale number two, she was serious. And therefore, she doesn't have a claim in Nachas Ruach Hasisa L'Bayli. But when there's only one lokech, one sale, one purchase going on, after the Rameir agrees that a woman has a claim Nachas Ruach Hasisa L'Bayli. What about our Mishnah? Our Mishnah, the woman does not have a valid claim of Nachas Ruach Hasisa L'Bayli. So Gemara answers, Masnizim the cause of le'acher. It's already the second time. It's already the second time everything's happening here. So therefore, he already wrote to one, right? He already tried to sell it to one, and now he's trying to sell it to the second. Our Mishnah is only recording the second sale, and therefore, the woman doesn't have a claim Nachas Ruach Hasisa L'Bayli. The Mishnah told us in Gittin that if a woman's going to collect a ksuba, or a Baal Choiv is coming to collect a loan, he can't collect from Mishubadim as long as the debtor or the husband has b'nei chayrin. Even if the b'nei chayrin are not as good as those that are sold, they're the lower level lands and qualitatively weaker. Nonetheless, the Baal Choiv can't collect from the Mishubadim if they're b'nei chayrin. Frak the Gemara, Yibayilhu, Ishtadov b'nei chayrin. What happens if the B'nai Chayrin are they're not only Zipayers, the B'nai Chayrin became ruined. They became mamish ruined. They exist, but they became ruined. Right? They're flooded, can't be used any longer. Now, can the Baal Chayv go collect from the Mishubadim? Is that considered like they're no longer here? The fact that they're ruined, therefore they're no longer here, and therefore you can collect from the Mishubadim? Or do we say no? At the end of the day, the field's here. You might have to do a cleanup project. You might have to, bring in the government and all their resources to make sure the field's viable again. But at the end of the day, the field's still here. If a husband wrote to Lokech number one, a field, and the Lokech purchased it, and the woman did not agree to the sale, but then the woman agreed to sale number two, we say the woman lost her rights to sale to the field that was involved in sale number two. If you tell me that if the B'nai Chayr get ruined, she's allowed to collect from the Shabbatim, Nei the Kesubos misheni mirishain miha tikbi. Why did she lose her ksuba completely when she signed off on a deal to the second deal? At the end of the day, the sale of the first deal, she did not agree to at all. So why can't she go collect from the first field? Why can't she go collect from the first field? In other words, the second, the B'nai Chayrin are no longer existent. So Ishtad B'nai Chayrin, she should be able to go collect from the Mishubadim from the first field. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak comes along. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, my Ibda Mishain, she lost her right to the second field. But in a Chinami, it's like a true, she can collect from the first Lokeach. Amar Abba, Shtei Tshuvos, that can't be. Chada, the Ibda Gamri Mash. The lashon idem Kesubos means that she lost it completely. She can't collect from any mishubadim at all. The fact that she signed off to sell field number 2, she lost all the rights to mishubadim completely. Why? According to you, Rav Nachman, she could collect from one of the mishubadim. She collect from the Rishon. That's not the mashmos. Lo Tanya. Furthermore, the Brisa says, "Lo min ha'echad u'machar nechasav l'shnayim." Somebody borrowed money. Ruvain borrowed money from Johnny. Johnny is the big, wicked, evil Baal Chayim. Ruvain borrowed money from Johnny, and he sold it to Shimon and Levi, 2 purchasers. Shimon and Levi bought his fields. Ruvain owes money to Johnny, right? He owes money to Johnny, and his fields are now by Shimon and Levi. Because of Baal Chayim, and Johnny went over to Levi and he says, Levi, I ain't going to deal with you. I'm not going to collect from you. Ein loy alokech rishon klum. So the halacha is that Johnny cannot go now collect field from Shimon. Why? Because when he goes to collect from Shimon, he goes to Shimon and he says, Reuven owed me money. He has no money, and I'm coming to collect from Mishubadim, pay up. So Shimon says, hold on, Johnny. When I bought the field from Reuven, I made sure to only purchase one field. I made sure that Reuven had enough property left for you to go collect. I didn't want you to get involved with me, and therefore I made sure to leave over enough property by Reuven that you'd be able to collect from Reuven. I left over a place for you to collect your loan from. So what do we see there? What's the kasha? The kasha is ishtadif mishubadim ligvas b'nei chayr. If you learn that she only lost her rights, ibda Kesubos means mina sheni. So over here, the Baal Chov, Johnny lost his rights to the second to the second field that was sold to Levi. Why can't he now go collect from Shimon? So Gemara answers, Hasim, no. Ihu the Afsid Nafshe b'yadayim. The reason Johnny can't collect from Shimon is because he ruined it for himself. He actively went out of his way and said, I'm not going to deal with Levi. So since he ruined his potential to collect from Levi on his own, it was man-made problem, so therefore he can't collect from Shimon either. However, if it would be where Ishtadif b'nei chayrim, where it wasn't a man-made event, but it was a natural occurrence, maybe nechinami, then we would say you can no longer collect naturally from the b'nei chayrim, so therefore you can collect from the mishubad. Amalei Rav Yemar le Rav Ashi. V'ha maisim b'chol yoim. Every single day. Maisim b'chol yom. Da'hu gaver the mishkan le pardisa lechavre l'eser shonim. V'kosh l'chamei shonim. V'az l'kamayu d'rabanan. V'kosh l'ei tirfo. Every single day we have in court the following case. That a man is mimashkin. He gives over his field for 10 years. He gives over his field for 10 years. And he says to the person who's now using the field that he was going to collect all the payers for the next 10 years. He says, you could collect for 10 years, but after 5 years, what happened? The field no longer bore fruit. There was no fruit-bearing trees left in the field. The field was no longer good. So now this field is a dud. So now, the person who received it turns back and he says, I'm supposed to get fruit for 10 years, not for 5 years. You promised me 10 years. So Beis Din writes, Kesubos tirfa, that he's allowed to go collect from the original owner another field in order to produce fruit for another 5 years. So why over there do we say? Why over there? It's tarfa mishabde ishtadif. It's ishtadif b'nei chayrin, and we're allowing him to collect from the mishubadim. What do we mean? The debt. Let's say Johnny collected this field to repay the loan. It was the b'nei chayrin, and after 5 years, it's no longer producing fruit. So we say we allow you to collect from the mishubadim. So that means the b'nei chayrin became no longer valid, no longer viable. So it's ishtadif b'nei chayrin. Now Beis Din's allowing to be teiref mishubadim. So that should be a good raya. That should be a good raya that every single day Beis Din paskins that ishtadif, if a natural occurrence happens and the field is no longer viable, we allow him to collect from the mishubadim. Says the Gemara, no, that's not a valid raya. Hasanami inu davsan and half shayu. Even to have a yoda, the paradisa of the kash. He lost it out himself. What do you mean? The fact that Reuven allowed for Johnny to collect from this field, knowing the field is going to eventually dry up. The fact that this was the field that they chose to give to Johnny, guess what? He messed himself up. He messed himself up because he knows the field's not going to be there long enough to pay for the whole loan, to pay off his whole debt. So that's when we say, Ishtadif b'nei chayrin, you could go collect from the mishubadim. But if it wouldn't be that he messed it up himself, that it was known in advance that the field was not going to be viable, and it was a pitom, suddenly an earthquake, a tornado, who knows what, a natural disaster occurred, and the field became no longer viable. So who says in such a circumstance we say Ishtadif b'nei chayrin, now you could be going from mishubadim? It was known in advance in Echanami. If it's not known in advance, then that's still a kasha. The hilchasa ishtadif b'nei chayrin tarfim mishatim. The halacha is if a natural disaster occurred and the b'nei chayrin are no longer viable, so we allow the baal choiv to collect from the mishubadim. Amar Abaye. Nechasei lecha v'acharecha leploini. Nechasei loch v'acharecha leploini. A man says to a woman, this field of mine, I'm giving it to you for as long as we are married. And after you die, then the field is going to go to my long lost brother in Australia. It's only yours for the duration of your life. Afterwards, I'm not giving it to you for your yershim. I'm giving it to you only for this specific amount of time. Afterwards, it's going to go to back to my family. This happens when they are during Eirsin. And then she gets married. So then, so now she dies. So according to the original transaction, the long-lost brother should now get it. But guess what? Her husband is considered a lokeach. He bought it from her. So he precedes the long-lost brother. Keman. Who does that go like? Which Tana? The first guy, I give a present to Shlomo. V'acharecha to Shmuel. And then Shlomo's smart. During the year that it's his, he goes and sells it. So, Hasheni, Shmuel is maitim yad lakuches. Divrei Rabbi. Rabbi says it doesn't matter. Shlomo could only sell it for the duration of his ownership. Afterwards, Shmuel is allowed to collect. Shpag argues, no. Shmuel only gets what was left over after Shlomo's year. So Mamela, if Shlomo sold it, Shmuel gets nothing. So to here, if the wife got married and now the husband's a lokeach, the husband gets it, and therefore the acharecha loses out everything. Umi amar Abaye hachi. Rabbi, Ezu Rosh Aram, makes the Eitzel Nimkor Minachasim. Kirashbag. Abai said, who's considered an evil Rasha, a very evil, wicked individual? Somebody who gives advice for a woman to get married, or gives advice, to sell property in the case of Acharecha, like the Rashbag. In other words, if someone would go to Shlomo and say, for that year, you only have it for a year, so guess what? Sell it. Shmuel is going to lose out everything. That's your way to make money. So that's considered a Rasha. So how come Abai said, if Acharecha, L'chav Acharecha L'ploini, and then they get married to the woman, the field goes from the woman to the husband, isn't that a Rasha Aram? Says Gemara, Miksani Tina say, no one ever gave her advice to go get married. Nisis Kamar. That's what happened. That's the reality. And Achanami, she's a Rasha. She shouldn't have done this. It's not a good thing, but that's the reality. That's what happened. She sold it and then died. Then what happens? The Baal, who's Yeresher, can get it from the Lukuchais. Now the Baal took it from the Lukuchais. The Acharecha get it after from the Baal, because guess what? It wasn't supposed to go to the Baal, it was supposed to go to the Acharecha. But the Lokeach says, hold on, you only get it if it was still in her possession when she died. I bought it from her, so I should get it before you. So it goes, Lokeach first got it, Baal takes it from Lokeach, then the Acharecha says, hold on, if Baal gets it, the Baal's not supposed to get it, I'm supposed to get it. So then Lokeach Sheni gets it from the Baal, and then the Lokeach Rishon goes and takes it away from her. Now what happens? That's and it ends up and it remains by the Lokeach Rishon. Mokmina Lokulu biyado to Lokeach. Correct. Gemara, Ma'ishlam Yadis Nan v'Chayzeres Chalila, our Mishnah. V'Chayzeres Chalila, she has a pshar b'nein. Why don't we say, hold on, once the Lokeach Rishon, once the Lokeach got it, so the Baal can go take it from the Lokeach again, and then the Acharecha can take it from the Baal, and he keeps on going in a circle, until they make a compromise. It's like our Mishnah. Says the Gemara, Hasam is lehu pseida lekulu. Hacha lekechu deis lepseida. The other ones don't. Why? The Acharecha was getting a present. First, it's going to go to the woman, and afterwards to the long lost brother. It's a present. If he doesn't get the present, he doesn't lose anything. Husband, he's not losing anything. He's supposed to Yerush his wife. It's a Yerusha. If he doesn't get it, he doesn't get it. But the Lokeach paid good money for it. So if the Lokeach doesn't get to keep the field, he's going to lose out. Right? So that's where we say the Lokeach, he's the one that loses out, so he's going to get to keep it. In the case of the Mishnah, we have a bunch of Lekuchais that are buying one from the other. About Chov, and it keeps on going in circles. Rishona min Shniya, right? The Lokeach min Rishona, and then the Shniya, right? It keeps on going in circles. So there, everyone's losing out. Everyone's losing out. Someone's losing out the Kesuba. Two people are losing out the Kesuba. The Lokeach's losing out money. Everyone's losing out something that's owed to them. Therefore, we make a Pshara, make a compromise. Also, Rafram, Amar L'Shmaitzik Amid Rabashi, Mi Amar Rabbi Hachi. How did Rabbi say such a thing that the Lokeach gets to keep it? Hold on, you have two statements of buying that contradict each other. In case number one, she has a field, and then it's Acharecha L'Ploini, she gets married, the Baal gets it, Acharecha gets nothing. Case number two, she has a field, she sells it, Baal now can take it away, and Acharecha then gets it from the Baal. Contradict each other. If she has full rights, and therefore the Baal gets it and keeps, and only we pass like Reshbag, Vein L'Chal Ma'ishaya Rishon. So once the Baal gets it, the Acharecha gets nothing. So to once the Lokeach got it, then the Baal shouldn't get anything, the Acharecha should also not get anything. And if you learn like the other one that it's going in a circle, everyone's collecting from each other, so we see that we see that the Acharecha Taka has rights, even though there's a Baal in between. So if she received it when she was a Penuya, she received it and says, here's your field, and afterwards it's going to go to the long-lost brother, right? If she received it when she was a Penuya, then it's going to go to the husband. Once she gets married, it goes to the husband keeps it. If she was already married and then she received it as a matana, and then she sold it, in that case, it's the case that's going to eventually the lokech is going to get to keep it. Like she nesua, that she's already married and she's only getting it for a limited amount of time. Maika Amarla, Acharecha likni bal loy likni. And when he gave it to her when she was in Nesua, when she got the present of the field while she was married, the Tanai, the condition on the deal was, you will get it. And afterwards, your long-lost brother is going to get it. My long-lost brother is going to get it. And your husband's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. So part and parcel of the deal is the husband's not going to get to keep it. So therefore, the Acharecha had rights to remove it, the field, from the husband. It was specifically part and parcel of the condition of the field that the Acharecha has rights to remove it from the Baal. Therefore, it's going to go in a circle. It's going to go Lokeach, bought it from the wife. Baal is Yerush, the wife, takes it away from the Lokeach. The Acharecha says, hold on, if Baal got it, I really should get it, not the Baal, because that's part of the condition. So he takes it away from the Baal. Lokeach says, hold on, if you're already dealing with the Acharecha, I bought it. So I get it before the Acharecha. So in that case, we say it remains by the Lokeach. The Mishnah ended off, V'chein bal choiv. Tana v'chein bal choiv v'shnei l'ku choiv. The same halacha will apply when you have a bal choiv and two people that bought it. In other words, Johnny is the bal choiv. Reuben owes money to Johnny, and he sold it. You have two l'kuchos who bought from Reuben, Shimon and Levi. V'chein isha ba'alas choiv v'shnei l'kuchos, or a isha who is a ba'alas choiv, owed money. It's not Johnny, but it's Jane, right? Jane is owed money. And now there are two lekuchos that purchased it. You'll have the same chayzeres chalil. It's going to keep on going in a circle. One buys from the other and the other and the other until you're going to have to make a pshara eventually, because everyone's going to be losing out. Either the Baal Chol is going to lose out the money that's owed for him, or the Lokech is going to lose out the money he paid. So since everyone's going to be losing out, so therefore we make a pshara. Hadron Allah. Mi Shahaya Nasu. Anyone have any questions, comments, suggestions? Please